Hi guys, and welcome to another Bibliophobes video. This is Stephanie, and I'm in a new shooting area, if you couldn't tell. These are actually all my books. Well, most of them. The rest are on the floor. But hopefully I'll be able to get these out and into the room itself and be able to pretty up the place a little bit. But these are my shelves so far. This video that I'm bringing to you today is going to be what I plan on reading for 2017. And what I plan on reading for 2017 is a lot. This year I was able to read close to 50 books this year, and I'm hoping to almost triple that next year. Hopefully. But without further ado, I'm going to get started with showing you the books that I want to read. Sorry if I'm fidgeting a little bit. I'm standing for the first time in like forever, so I'm pretty excited about this. And thankfully, comfy clothes day, comfy day off, so I'm looking rather cute, I guess you could call it. But let's get started with the books. There's a lot to show you, and as the books that I'm showing you, it will be like the first book in the series, but I do plan on continuing with the series as well. If I don't like it, I do plan to not finish it and plan on getting it off my shelf. That is my plan for this year. The whole purpose of this is to get the books off of my shelf and either give them away or finish reading them. If I do not think I will plan to read them, I am going to DNF them and I'm going to get rid of them because as you can see, I have a whole lot to read. So let's get started. The first book series that I plan on reading is the Burning Sky series. I do currently have the first book, obviously, The Burning Sky, and the second book. I do plan on getting the third book. It might be my birthday before I get it, but I do plan on getting it. And if you think the camera is looking a little weird, it's because I'm using my phone right now. The other one, the battery's dead, I don't feel like charging it, and I don't feel like sitting down. So, there's the next one is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. I have the first, second, and third one. I do not plan on reading the fourth one though, because let's see if I can get through the first one. If I don't like the first one, I'm not planning on continuing with it because I do have so many books that I want to get through this year. So it's going to be a quick read. The Glittering Court by Richelle Mead. I'm not sure what this book is about. I have heard many great things about this book though, so I do plan on reading it, and this being the first one that I plan on starting in January of 2017. The fourth one that I plan on reading in 2017 is Replica by Lauren Oliver. This one is a single book, but from two points of view. You can either read it from Lyra's point or from Gemma's point. What I plan on doing with this is switching each side, like reading a little bit from Lyra, a little bit from Gemma, and you can actually, it'll give you like when to do that. So, fifth one, Taste of Darkness by Maria V. Snyder. I also plan on continuing with any of her series, which you'll be able to see some of them, in her Ixia series, or pretty much any book by her. The sixth one I plan on reading is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This book, I believe, is a parody of Harry Potter. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I started reading this, but I put it down, so I plan on continuing with it in 2017. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. Love Stephanie Meyer's writing, so I do want to actually read this. It is a bit of a chunker, but I am willing to take the challenge. Melia 2.0. This one I believe is about an AI that doesn't think she's an AI, and that's pretty much all I know about it. The next one is kind of a controversial one for me, and that is The Enemy by Charlie Higson. Anyways, this is a zombie book. I started reading it, but I got really depressed when I was reading it. If that happens to me again, I do plan on not finishing it at all. I do like zombie books. I've read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I thought it was hilarious through the whole thing, but this one I got really depressed, so if that happens again, I do plan on not finishing it and not finishing the entire series as well. The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken. This one I've heard so many good things, and I believe it is about this person that has superpowers or powers or whatever you want to call it, and she is actually running away from people that are chasing her. But I'm not sure beyond that. Then the next book that I've heard so many great things about it on Sam's channel. So Sam's channel, which is Sam's Nonsense, and that is Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. Beyond that, she's really liked it. I don't really know much about the book itself, but I didn't really want to know much about it because I like going into a book that I kind of don't know much about it. That way I can actually make my own opinion about it without hearing everybody else's opinion. The Wicked Will Rise by Daniel Page. This one being the second one in Dorothy Must Die series, the last one being The Yellow Brick War. Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. I do have, this is the last one of the Infernal Devices series, and I do have the entire series of the Mortal Instruments series. And I do want to continue on with the Lady Midnight book. Then a book that I got last year for Christmas from my husband, so I have to read it this year because I'm going to make myself. And I love the storyline, and that is Storm Siren by Mary Weber. This obviously is about a storm siren, and she is a slave. She keeps getting traded from master to master because being a storm siren, she's actually wanted, and people want her dead. And it is about her journey to master her powers and help in a war, because her master that she's gonna be with is actually wanting her to use her powers. That is as far as I got before I sat it down, so I do plan on finishing this book and this series. Then I have Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. I don't know much about this book, but it has gotten a lot of hype on BookTube. Fire by Kristin Cashore, and this one being the second book or third book, however you want to look at it, but this one I do plan on reading next, and then I do plan on reading Bitter Blue after that. Spelled. This is another Oz retelling, and this is by Betsy Show. Then we have Seraphina. This is obviously a dragon book with the big pretty green dragon on the front. This one is about dragons that can take human form, and they're kind of ambassadors for, I believe the main dragon that we're going to be talking about is going to be an ambassador for the dragon community, I believe. I don't know much about that. Beyond that, it is kind of controversial on BookTube. Some people like it, a lot of people don't like it or don't care for it, so I'm going to see what I think of it. The next series that I do plan on starting is, well, this is a duology, and it's Aeon by Alison Goodman. Then I have a Death Note, this being volume 1. I only have volume 1 and volume 2, but I do have a comic book store now, which they can order me the rest of the series. Then we have another book series that my husband has recommended for me. That one being The Forgotten Legion, not Forgotten Eagle. And this one is by Ben Kane. This one, my husband absolutely loved it. He said that he said that he thought that I would like it as well. It has enough action in it that I wouldn't get bored, but it has enough world building and storyline that I wouldn't get bored as well. Then I have The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman. Toads and Diamonds. This one, I know it's a retelling, but I'm not sure what type of retelling it is, and also love the cover. Sanctum by Madeline Rue, this being the second book, the first one being Asylum, and then you have Catacombs after this. There are short stories that go along with this. I don't know if I'm going to be reading those. I definitely want to just get through the series. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I've heard so many good things about this series. I can't think of the actual storyline right now, but I cannot wait to get into this. This I bought for my birthday, and I figured why not? I'll just get started with it. And then let us continuing on, that being my first shelf, this being my second shelf. So I have 2 shelves that I'm reading plus 3 books. So the next book that I do plan on getting to is A Court of Thorn and Roses. This one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think it's a contemporary, but I'm not really sure about that. So I can't wait to kind of jump into it and get into the storyline and see what all the hype is about. Then we also have Fallen Kingdoms. From what I understand, I'm hoping it is kind of like Michael J. Sullivan's The Reardon. series, but I hope it's kind of like that series where it's kind of sarcastic, lots of action, lots of humor. Then we have a book that I actually watched the movie first before I've read the series, and that is Inkheart. I love the movie. The movie was absolutely wonderful, so I wanted to get into the series myself. And then we have, I just don't have the dust jacket. I got it at a dollar store or a thrift store, a resale store, or something like that. But it is Monster. Monster by Frank Peretti. This one is a Bigfoot horror tale, something. But it is about Bigfoot, and from what I've heard from people, that if you really want to freak yourself out, read it at night, and read it if you live in the woods. I live in the woods, and I read a lot at night. I'm going to be scared to death. Then we have The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I haven't really heard much about this, but the whole concept of someone reading your mind, and they can read your mind and you can read their mind as well, just absolutely, it was like, that caught my attention, and I decided to pick up the books. Then, we have Eldest by Christopher Paolini. This one is the second book in the Eragon series. Then you have Eldest, and then Brissinger, I believe. You also have one more after that. It is a series now instead of a trilogy. Coffee break. The next one that I do plan on reading is a series that I can't wait to get into, and that is Shadow's Edge. This is the second book, the first one being Night Angel, and then the third one being Beyond Shadows. This one is by Brent Weeks. It is about an assassin, or a wet boy as you would call it, and it's about his journey through the series. I can't really say anything about the second one because, well, one, I don't know anything, and two, it would give quite a bit away from the first one. The first one, it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. If you want to see my review about it, go ahead and go look on my page and give it a thumbs up, or let me know what you think. It was my first review, so I do plan on reviewing all these books, by the way. You will see reviews for every single book, what I liked about it, if I finished it, if I did not finish it. The next two books are kind of along the same line of type of story. The first one being The Glassblower, and that is about, one, from what I read the back of it, is about three sisters whose father has died. One sister wants to find true love, the other sister wants to find adventure, and then the youngest sister wants to become a glass blower herself and continue the family line. But in the town that she is in, only men are glass blowers. So it is about her. Then the rest of the series is about the other two girls. So I can't wait to get into this one. This one just sounded pretty amazing. So I can't wait to get into it. And then we have Stormglass by Maria V. Schneider. This is also about a glass blower. The next book is a book that I started actually when I was like probably 18. And that being The Pale Assassin, which I was looking up some of the books in here, make sure I had all of them or make sure that I needed some of them. And this one is part of a series. I, believe it or not, I couldn't get into this book. Ugh, it was horrible. It was boring. It was dull. But I was also 18 and not into these types of books. This is a historical retelling. But what intrigued me the most was The Pale Assassin. I mean, I love assassin stories. I figured it was about the assassin. No, it's about the girl on the front. And I do not remember anything about the story, so I'm starting from the beginning. Since now that I'm older, it's been, oh my gosh, it's been like 6 years. So I do plan on giving it another go. If I do not like it, obviously I'm going to DNF it. The next book that I plan on reading is The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan, however you say it. This one is the fourth book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Yes. And then you have the last book, which I currently have loaned out. And then the series beyond that, which I have the first one and do plan on picking up the rest of it. The next book that I have is Into the Woods by Tana French. Yes. And this one I'm kind of worried about because it has an Edgar Award. I'm hoping that doesn't mean Edgar Allan Poe. Then I hope it doesn't mean that this is a sad book. And then, of course, along with the fantasy theme that I kind of got going on in this bookshelf, I'm going to be reading The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. The first one being The Fellowship of the Ring, then you have The Two Towers, and then The Return of the King. I do have them all. And going on with my theme of scaring myself, I do plan on reading Ouija by... That's scary. It doesn't tell who wrote it. That's terrifying. All right. So, Ouija. And this is the book that inspired the movie. So, if you've read it, let me know what you think. And a book that I just randomly picked off my shelf because I needed another book to fill a space, and that is Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And then we have Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I am almost done with the series. I've enjoyed it so far. Order of the Phoenix was very long. The last 10 chapters was an emotional wreck. So I do plan on continuing. I'm happy that I want to continue. I was afraid that that one was going to be my heart-wrenching, didn't want to continue it book. But I do plan on finishing the series. And then we have The Assassin Game. This one I picked up at Kmart, Walmart, one of those. The back, I read the back and I was having a bad day. I wanted to buy a book, so I bought this one. But the back of the book so states that a bunch of friends go to a party. And at this party, all of a sudden people start dying. And of course everybody thinks it's everybody else. And by the end, you will find out who the assassin is and why they are doing this. Then, of course, I could not do a fantasy theme without doing Snow Like Ashes. I picked this one up because I love the cover. I've loved the cover since I saw it come out. I did not know that this was a book at first, but by a stroke of luck, that's when I started BookTube. So I had to pick it up. I finally picked it up for my birthday, and I cannot wait to get into it. If you have watched the review my brother-in-law did on this, he was not that impressed about it, but him and I like different things. He's more of a sci-fi person. I'm more of a fantasy person, so we'll see what I think about it. Then I could not do Snow Like Ashes without picking up An Ember in the Ashes. I almost hit my head. That would not have felt good. But anyways, this is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I love saying her name. It's a very pretty name. But this is about a soldier and a slave. Beyond that, I don't know what, but it is about them two and the chaos they ensue. Then, my first political book that I ever plan on reading, ever, and that is A Crisis of Character. Come on. How could we not read this? This is going to be great. Maybe. We'll see. Another coffee break. Dreamdark Blackbringer by Laini Taylor. I started reading Laini Taylor's other series, the God series, and I really like that. I was not able to finish it because I'm a horrible borrower of the library. I'm not good at it. Then to kind of throw some adult in my young adult kind of crisis I got going on here, and that is Outlander by Diane Gabaldon. I have heard so many good things about this book. I have actually started reading this book, but I believe I took out my bookmark. Yes, I did. I took out my bookmark, but I do plan on reading and finishing because I have half of this series as it is, so why not? Why not finish it? It's a great story. It's about our main character who gets sent back through time and actually starts a life back in time. You never hear that. They always want to go home and they're always fighting to get home. Well, she's actually kind of still wants to go home, but she's accepted it and she's doing all that she can to survive. It's great. It's great. And then I have Throne of Glass. Oh my. I've heard so many good things about this. I love the cover. I love the cover. I just gotta get into it. How can you not get into it? I hope it is as satisfying as what I'm hearing it is. We shall see. Then with also throwing in the Assassins theme I also have going, I am also planning on reading The Young Elites by Mary Lou. Then the last book that I do plan on picking up in this whole slew of reading is True Devotion by Dee Henderson. Sorry if I'm moving around a lot, I just realized I keep moving. But I'm not used to just standing while I'm doing a video, so it's very hard. But anyways, True Devotion by Dee Henderson. Dee Henderson is one of my favorite authors. I started reading her when I was 16, and the love of her writing has just continued. And so I had to pick up the Uncommon Heroes series, and this being the first one, and then I do have the rest of them. So, alright, that is it of what I plan on reading in 2017. Let me know what you think down below, and just so you know, it is roughly 50-ish books that I do plan on reading, and that is either the first book or the second book in the series. So, hopefully I can get through it, guys. I can do it. I do plan on like I said, I do plan on doing a review for every single book that I do have on on my shelves down there. I will let you know my progress and what I think along the way. And yeah, we're just, I can't wait. I cannot wait to start this. I cannot wait to be able to either donate these books or just be able to enjoy them myself. So let me know what you think down below, and of course always give my videos a good thumbs up. And if you feel like it, subscribe too, and you'll be able to see more crazy videos that Seth and I do. So, without further ado, this is a Bibliophobe signing off.